I know narcissists all have this superiority complex where they act like nothing can hurt them. Nothing can faze them. You can't best them, get one over on them, outsmart them. There's nothing you can ever do to get control of them. And that's exactly what they want you to think. This video is going to tell you how you can absolutely damage a narcissist and bring them to their knees. Welcome back, Survivor. My name is Jess Stanley. I too am a survivor of a narcissistic relationship. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on narcissistic awareness and support. Yeah, a lot of narcs love to play the victim, but they only act hurt when they need something from somebody or they need somebody in general. Narcs have a huge ego, and it's your job to constantly keep that ego boosted and keep it going. But here's some things that really hurt. First up is a little thing I call welcome to Dumpsville, population them. Being dumped is a massive blow to the frail ego of a narcissist. Yeah, I know, I get it. Nobody wants to be on the ouch end of the breakup, but this affects a narcissist so much more than a well-adjusted person going through a traditional, more normal, quote-unquote, breakup. This taps into issues and fears that narcissists are already filled with. This also is a huge loss of control for them. We don't get to choose when we get dumped. So you leave them when you want to. It's a big loss of control that also really hurts. They have no control over what's happening, nor do they have control of you anymore, and it hits deeply. It's even more stunning to them because the narcissistic arrogance that they all possess has them convinced you're never going to leave. You're never going to walk away. So when you do, it's incredibly jarring for them to experience. Getting dumped, super damaging to a narc. And I've talked about the ego, so let's expand on some of that and talk about some other things that hurt them good and proper. Let's talk about the narcissistic injury. A narcissistic injury is a wound to the ego of a narcissist. The narc injury, very devastating for them to suffer because it hits them in all of their weak points. It pokes at things like their pride, their self-worth, and it can also cause them to feel shame, humiliation, and embarrassment, things they try to avoid at all costs because the ego cannot take it. If you've humiliated them in some way, broken up with them, done something, and you did end up outsmarting them, beating them at their own ridiculous, immature mind games, and so on, it can cause a long-lasting narcissistic injury. Now, I just want to be clear. I'm not saying you did this intentionally or that you should do this intentionally. A lot of the time, the ego just gets hurt because it's so incredibly delicate for a narcissist. It's just going to happen anyway. You could have the most civil breakup in the history of the world and be a complete lady or gentleman and be a complete adult. It is still going to cause them a narcissistic injury. That is how easy it is to hit the ego. If you'd like to get some help or advice, support for what you're going through right now, you can talk with me one-on-one. You can visit my website to book phone sessions with me to have those private chats. You can send an email as well if you want to book sessions that way. Book a chat with Jess@gmail.com, and all of the information you need is down in the video description for you to check it out. A huge blow to the ego can even cause narcissists to go into a spiral, a downward spiral. We've all heard of those. It can also be called a narcissistic collapse, but this really isn't the time or the video to, get into all of that. What we can talk about is something absolutely golden: silence. Silence is really one of the worst things you can do to a narcissist that's perfectly legal for you to do. It once more shows they have no control. You run your life. You don't need them, and you can't even be bothered. And the most awesome thing about silence is you're not even doing it to be mean to them. Silence, going no contact, that's how we begin to take care of ourselves. The fact that it really pisses them off, I can't say it's not an added bonus for some people, but that's really the way it is. Silence is what we need to heal, to come out of the fog of gaslighting and begin to really take stock of what's happening in the relationship and with us and be able to move forward. It's two birds with one delicious stone. And again, something that hurts them. They can't understand. Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you texting me? Why aren't you acknowledging me? Why aren't you giving me attention? Again, the arrogance. They never expect you to do something like that. So when you do, don't think it doesn't take them down just a couple of pegs. Of course, it's also going to hurt a narc when you move on with somebody else. Once more, the ego gets hit. How dare you, survivor? How dare you heal, get counseling, get help, move on and find somebody more well-adjusted, more better suited to be an adult and be with you? What, do you think you just get to move on with your life? I mean, honestly, who do you think you are? Finding a new friendship or romance, what have you, is definitely going to cause a narc some hurt. So much so that you might even get hoovered in the process if there's been a long silence between you. I also don't want to get super into hoovering in this video, but I'm sure you know how that goes. Just in case you don't, I have a whole playlist on hoovering. Feel free to check that out. Once you move on, they suddenly decide they want to start dealing with you again. You can't see me right now, survivor, but trust me, I'm rolling my eyes. You know how that is. They don't want anything to do with you when you want something to do with them. As soon as you walk away or let them know you're seeing someone or doing something, they're all super interested in you again. Yeah, okay. Whatever you say, narcs, whatever you say. So I'm really excited to tell you about some rewards that I have if you choose to become a member of my channel here on YouTube. And becoming a member allows me to keep making content for you guys. It unlocks dozens of private videos for you to enjoy. You get custom badges and emojis that you can use. And you can join my support group where myself and other survivors gather with each other to just talk and text in some chat rooms. So click the join button just below the video to get started. And if you want even more information, again, all of that is down and readily available in the description for you. You moving on with your life in any way is honestly very bothersome to them. Like I said earlier, these people aren't keen on pointing out what really bothers them. They're not going to dole out their list of weaknesses. If they do, they fear those weaknesses might be used against them. Because, well, that's what they do. That's their line of thinking. They learn people's weaknesses to then dish it out and hurt them or bring it up later. So when that's what you do, you suddenly think that that's what everybody else does. So they usually keep those things pretty close to their heart. They're going to play a victim about shit they don't even really care about to gain sympathy or support, whatever they need. But what really hits is hidden most of the time. And I wanted to talk about this because I really, really want to send this message out that these folks are not powerful. They're riddled with fear of everything, of everyone. They need to push people around and bully people, make people feel stupid and unwanted and useless. They use fear and scare tactics to get what they want. This is not powerful, survivor. If you take nothing else away from my video, hear this now. This is sad, pathetic manipulation. Sure, some narcs are more dangerous than others. I'm not making light of anybody's situation, but some folks are suffering from things way beyond narcissism. Narcs are cowardly, not powerful, and they're definitely not more powerful than you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.